Hello, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Akande. I am Nigerian American, and I'm 26 years old, and I am currently living in Birmingham, Alabama, and I've been here for 3 years. And before moving to Alabama, I was from California. Before California, I'm from Nigeria, born there, and I've been through many things in my life, and I have been experiencing something different than other people, which is obviously what it is when it comes to people live their life differently and what they've gone through and what they've been through and where they come from and something like that. I do have some speech impairment, so as you can see, I don't always talk perfectly, but if you can bear with me, that'll be awesome. Today, I want to share with you my story and why I come to fall in love with fitness. And fitness is what made me Emmanuel Akande in some degree. But other than fitness, I want to thank God, obviously. God is the one that gave me courage to overcome many things. And most of the time, I have overcome my physical difficulties, physical challenges. I've been through so much, more than I can ever express. When I was born 21 weeks premature. And being born that early, there is some complication that doctors had to deal with. And he had to make this decision that made him believe there's no way to keep me alive. Remember, I was born in Nigeria. I was born in Lagos, Nigeria. And my mom was informed or suggested to abort me, to kill me. That's what the doctor suggested in the first place. But my mom, being a woman of faith, she said no. She believed in God, and she believed that God was with us. That's how I get my name, Emmanuel, which should be obvious. Emmanuel, God with us. And I appreciate that name, honestly. In the past, I never really feel worthy of that name. There's a lot to carry in that name, with that name. But now I understand that name is my story. Emmanuel is not just a name, it's the story. The fact that God was with us. God was always with us through everything, through every trials and tribulation and loss and pain and happiness and joy and peace and all these things. He's always with us in every season. But when my mom had to make the decision to keep me alive, there has to be a way to keep me alive. So my dad, being a man, being a father for the first time, in some degree, because they lost other baby before me. I'm a third child that they were about to lose. But thankfully, my mom being a woman of faith, my dad being a father, a man of God, and he had to travel, he had to find a way to keep me alive and all that. They had to go through a lot just to keep me alive. And one day, I went to this church, and the church prayed and fasted. and God performed a miracle. And my mom, my dad went to other state, and the hospital over there were ready for me with open arms, willing to save me, willing to keep me alive. That was a miracle from God. God did the impossible. God made things happen. When you pray, when you seek the face of God, when you know that there's nothing you can do but to pray, God answers prayers. After they keep me in a machine called incubator, keep me there for a while, had surgeries and stuff like that. And after I was able to live, there's a lot of challenges where my mom had to really be careful how to shower me, how to feed me, clothe me, all that. She had to be really careful because I was incredibly small. I was born less than 1 pound. And it took me a while to developing really slow. And to the point where I couldn't walk. I was crawling on the ground. My mom and dad had to get on me at the back and walk me to school, walk me to church, and all that. And I wasn't able to walk until 4, going to my mom, sharing a story about my life and what she's been through, what my dad been through. I wasn't able to communicate. They couldn't hardly understand me because later on they find out I was partially deaf. Another word, hard of hearing. So that was understandable why I couldn't speak well, I couldn't understand what they're saying, all that stuff. And when we came to America, when I was 5, when my dad was like maybe 35, I think, yeah. And when we moved to America, we first lived in Minnesota. We lived there for 1 month. My mom hated cold because we're African. We don't do it cold, we do it hot. That's our nature, you know. So we moved to California, Fresno, California. And that's where everything began to get better to some degree. It was hard beginning, it was a struggle, that's how it is. Everything in life had a hard beginning, but in time, it get better. So I went to Thomas Edwards School in Fresno. I had a teacher, Mr. Edwards. He hardly taught me anything. He never taught me a thing. I was not educated, I was dumb. And yeah, so they took me to a hospital called Children's Valley Hospital in Fresno. I took it to the other part of the city. And so when they took me to the hospital, I got diagnosed, and they diagnosed me with a condition called cerebral palsy and hard of hearing and retarded. That's what they named me. Well, unfortunately, they wanted to call me that. So that's where I get my first hearing aid after being diagnosed. And thankfully, my mom and dad were hard to move us to another city called Clovis. And we lived there. We lived in a new house. And I went to Garfield Elementary School. I met Nina and Elizabeth. And they're a great teacher. No. Sorry. It's not Elizabeth, it's Alexis. Yeah. Alexis. Yeah. She passed away recently, I believe last year or so. So they are the great people. They taught me sign language. They educated me with math, English, writing, reading, all of that. They taught me a lot of things. They're a great teacher. They absolutely changed my life. And that's where I began to learn more, understand more, my comprehension get better, my communication get better through sign language. And then eventually, after many years of speech therapist, I was able to speak better in some degree. I was able to understand people. It's a long journey. I had a physical therapist, but my leg was not strong. I would always fall down. I would always lose balance when I run, when I walk. Like I was incredibly weak in some degree. And Mr. Van, as my physical therapist, PTA, I think. There's the name for it, but I forgot what the name of it. But he was the one that helped me learn how to run, helped me learn how to walk properly, how to have balance. And I joined track, cross country, in elementary school. I joined track, baseball, and basketball. Because I like to be active. I like to work out, if that makes sense. It's fun, but it's hard, but I don't give up. I keep on going. And then at the age of 12, 13, when I went to high school, I'm skipping a lot, but that'll be another day. I went to high school, in freshman high school, I learned, 8th grade actually, I started doing wrestling. And wrestling is one of my favorite sports because it's a lot of physical challenges. And I fall in love with it because it's hard and it makes me stronger. And that's where I learned weightlifting. I was like, what is this? Like literally when I went into a gym room, I was like, what is this? And I started falling in love with it. I was like, man, I want to do this. But I didn't really get into fitness yet because I was focusing on wrestling. And fast forward to freshman in college, that's where I actually work out. I work out. And then little by little, I work out. And then 3 years ago, 5 years ago, to be precise, I started to work out on my own, little by little. And now when I came to Alabama, I was hardcore working. I was working out almost every day, 6 days a week, sometimes 9 days a week, sometimes, depending on how I feel, if I need to recover, So I work out almost every day, and I fall in love with it. And look at me now. My body's stronger like never before. I'm able to do things I thought I would never do, what people think I never do, but I did it. So my story is what defined me in some degree. God was there, and I did my part, and God did his part, and because of that, improvement was being made. I was able to go through pain and fear and all of that. It's about doing the work. It's about challenging. Life is full of challenges. Life is not comfortable. But if you can just push yourself, if you can just look at the bigger picture, what you can be, what you see yourself in the mirror, what kind of figure you want to look like, what kind of person you want to be, what kind of intellect you want to increase, what kind of emotional intellect you want to have. All of that requires a lesson to be sharpened, a lesson to be taught, a lesson to be exposed, so that you can cultivate and elevate yourself when it comes to improvement, not pride, ego, not improvement. So I hope this video really helped you guys understand. I know fitness is not for everybody, but it can be. Because fitness increases something in you. It does something to you. It increases your self-esteem. It increases your faith in some degree. You know why? Because if you work out, you're able to do more. You're able to move. You're able to labor for the kingdom of God. And you have to allow yourself to understand that exercise profits a little bit, because it's temporary. We're only going to be here on this earth for a little season. No one knows the time where they're going to die. No one knows that, but God does. And if you want to live a long life, if you want to be there for your family, if you want to be there for your grandkids, and see the wonderful thing that God's going to do in your family and yourself, you have to do your job. Take care of yourself. Work out, eat healthy, and have some cheat days sometimes to get anything you want. And then go back to your regular schedule by eating healthy, by working out, by staying disciplined. Take 30 minutes, or 1 hour, or whatever is convenient to your schedule. Because I know job is consuming your time, but there's always a time to do something, just something, rather than just doing nothing and see your body becoming what it is. So I hope all of you have been inspired by this video. I want to be the testament for you guys to be able to understand that if I can do it, so you can. I have no excuse. My dad is not saying, hey man, you can do that. My mom did that, but my dad was like, no, you can do it. And I have other people saying, you can do it, you can do it. You have no excuse, you can do it. So that's what it's all about, overcoming your challenges. And know that God is always with you through everything and all things. Shalom, shalom. God bless you. Love you guys.